Welcome to Dancin Moon Songcast. I'm Scott Simpson, casting from Dancin Moon Studio in Spearfish Canyon on the north end of the Black Hills of South Dakota, right on the banks of the Spearfish Creek. If you'd like to follow along, you can download a free PDF of my lyric book from scottsimpsonmusic.com/lyrics, and of course you can find links to all my music there as well. So let's get casting and find out what song we're going to talk about this time. Well, this happens to be a special episode of Dancin Moon Songcast. Today's episode marks 1/2 year. It was 6 months ago that we began this weekly Songcast, and it's been great for me. I appreciate those of you who have followed us along all the way through. Lots more to follow into the foreseeable future. But in this 1/2 year episode, we're going to take a look at Heatwave. We are in the middle, I am currently in the middle of winter, and so it's kind of nice to look at a song like Heatwave, which appeared on 2018's Gravitate LP, Studio LP, also appeared in a live version on 2019's Live in the Black Hills Volume 2. So we'll listen to that studio version first and talk a little bit about it, and then we'll wrap up the episode by playing the live version so you can get something to compare that studio version to. So this is Heatwave from 2018's Gravitate. Dogs in a hammock and a cool breeze after a hot day. Heat wave in the canyon. You're singing eagle in the hawk from memory. Seemed like we were just kids. 30 years and a lifetime away. Seemed like all the hard times that come and go like a heat wave. Open the window, turn on the light, bring on the thunder, flash in the night, rain on the rooftop, try as we might, can't get to love until we burn out the fight, till we burn out the fight. Two kids in a red Jeep on a dirt road up to the mountaintop. Late night in the basement. Watch them sing and dance like they'll never stop. Watch them go through the tough years. Middle school boyfriends and bullies. You and I learn the hard way. Hearts burst when they get so full. Please open the window, turn off the light, bring on the thunder, flash in the night, rain on the rooftop, try as we might, can't get to love until we burn out the fight, till we burn out the fight. kids and a few more dollars, maybe we'll both leave our jobs, spend weeks on an island beach. I don't know, what are the odds? Right now I wanna hear about your day, the crazy thing your coworker said. I wanna tell you how I missed you last week when I was in some distant hotel bed. Open a window, turn off the lights, bring on the thunder, flash in the night, rain on the rooftop, try as we might, can't get to love till we burn out the fire again. Open a window, turn off the lights, bring on the thunder, let it flash in the night, rain on the rooftop, try as we might, can't get to love until we burn out the fire, till we burn out the fire. Seems like we were just kids, 30 years and a lifetime away. Seem like all the hard times, they come and go like a heat wave. Like a heat wave. Like a heat wave. Wow, I'm not sure why, but nothing says summer to me like acoustic guitar and harmonica. I don't know, that just screams summer. I think about summers in the past and songs, summer songs, and the warm sun, bright sun on your face, listening to a laid back, kind of chill acoustic guitar and little harmonica with some deep reverb on it, you know. I don't know. Feels like summer to me. That's probably why I wrote a song called Heatwave and made it mostly acoustic guitar and harmonica. So anyway, this, you know, not all songs are autobiographical. They probably all have some reflection of the songwriter's reality at some level, but this one I would have to say is almost straight up autobiography, and for that reason, it's kind of a nice. It's like more than a lot of my other songs. It's really like a journal entry. It's like going back and reading what was I thinking on that day back in the summer of 2018. What was I remembering? And what I was remembering was all of the times before. So we'll take a look at these lyrics and then talk just a little bit about the ideas there, talk a little bit about the music, and then we'll, like I said, we'll listen to the live version off of Live in the Black Hills, Volume 2, at the end of the episode. So lyrically, this I began writing this. It was the summer of 2018. So released the album then near the end of 2018, and so we did have a stretch here in Spearfish that was really, really hot, a heat wave. And the nice thing about the canyon is in Spearfish Canyon, we don't get quite as extreme on the heat because we've got some nice shade with the canyon walls. And then when you have a breeze blowing up the canyon, wow, what a relief, especially when it's been like, you know, in the up above the 100 mark. So this particular day, we'd been in a heat wave, and we were sitting on our deck there in the canyon, and it was me and Cheryl, my wife, and our our three dogs. And so I will take a look at the lyrics, and I'll talk just a little bit about that. 3 dogs in a hammock and a cool breeze after a hot day. Heatwave in the canyon. You're singing Eagle and the Hawk from memory. Seems like we were just kids 30 years and a lifetime away. Seems like all the hard times come and go like a heat wave. So yeah, we were on the deck and we had our little hammock that we put up out there, and Cheryl was in the hammock, and I think Oscar was in the hammock with her, and then Abby and Ellie. Those are our 3 dogs: Oscar, Abby, and Ellie. Abby and Ellie were sitting beside the hammock, and Cheryl, who is a huge and has always been a huge John Denver fan, was singing little snippets of Eagle and the Hawk. If you remember that song by John Denver, beautiful, soaring kind of acoustic, summery song, because we had birds soaring up above us. And the nice thing about it, in the canyon, you can lay back, especially if you're in a hammock, and just watch the birds. And the birds are just soaring over. Big birds, little birds, lots and lots. Sometimes you'll see an eagle. You will see hawks. And then you'll see a whole lot of like swallows and smaller birds and things like that. So that's the setting. We were there. I had my guitar, and we were cooling off from a hot day, and I got reflective. It'd been 30 years, slightly more, maybe 31, since we'd been married, and all the things and all the difficult stuff that we went through. But they come and they go like a heat wave. You know, you go through something tough, you go through something difficult, you go through something that you're thinking, oh my gosh, are we going to survive this? Are we going to make it? And then it passes. And it passes, and you've got the cool breeze, and you got a nice day, and you got a couple of 3 dogs, and you're able to be reflective. So it became kind of a metaphor. That afternoon became kind of a metaphor for life. So we'll move on to the next section. Open the windows, turn off the lights, bring on the thunder, flash in the night, rain on the rooftop. Try as we might, we can't get to love until we burn out the fight. Until we burn out the fight. So, of course, on one of these summer days, one of the things you look forward to is when night falls. A lot of times we'll have thunderstorms in the canyon, and it just rumbles up and down the canyon, just a massive sound, and it brings with it a cool breeze. And if you open up the windows, we don't have air conditioning in our house. We just open those windows and then listen to the rain begin to drop and feel and smell that cool rain air, and it just cools everything off. Almost like you can hear the rocks outside sizzle as the rain hits them. It's that feeling of cooling everything off. And we get back to the metaphor. We can't get to love until we burn out the fight. Now, I had someone ask me, so is this about like fights between when you're married, you fight and then you make up, and that could be part of it, but really what I was thinking about was the fight that you go through together. The difficult stuff that you feel like you've got your backs, you're back to back, and the enemies are surrounding you, and you're just fighting and fighting and fighting. And then when you get through that battle, then that person who you were fighting along with, you can just sit down together and say, we made it. We got through that. So it may be a little bit of both, because I'd be lying if I didn't admit that sometimes, obviously, anyone who's been in any kind of relationship,
and especially those of us who've been married, you don't go through years and years of marriage without having disagreements. But the lovely part about that is that a disagreement or even a fight does not have to be a threat to the relationship. Ultimately, on the other side of it, it can be a strength to the relationship. So I suppose it's about both things. The internal fight and the fight together against the external as well. So then in the next part of the song, we move into just some reveries, some remembrances of things, of good times in the past. 2 kids and a red Jeep on a dirt road up to the mountaintop. Late nights in the basement. Watch them sing and dance like they'll never stop. Watch them grow through the tough years. Middle school, boyfriends and bullies. You and I learned the hard way. Hearts burst when they get so full. So, yeah, we had 2 daughters. They're both adults now, and they both live here in Spearfish again, moved back. And from the time they were really young, one of the first purchases we made here in Spearfish was a red Jeep. We'd take the top off, and some of our best memories are the 4 of us hopping into that Jeep and taking off into the hills, up to a high place on the mountaintop. And another memory is we had a big open unfinished basement, and they would be down there. They would play Disney movies or other things like that, and they would put together a whole show where they would sing along with it, and they would perform, watching them dance and watching them sing and watching them skate and stuff in that basement. And then them going through, middle school is a tough time for everybody, but middle school was a really tough time for both of my girls. All the changes that are happening and relationships and bullying, and as an educator myself, that's one of the key things we work on with schools is how to create the climate where that's just not going to happen, and it's not going to be tolerated, and it's difficult, because we seem now to have a lot of bullying going on in our country, in our society, in just a really acceptable way, but that really hits home when something's happening to your child. Your child that you've raised, and is just such a sweet, innocent, and open person. So anyway, we had to weather those things, and then the last couple of lines in there, you and I, Cheryl and I, learned the hard way that hearts burst when they get so full. There's a pain and a joy that are all wrapped together in that. The wonderfulness of having children, the wonderfulness of those experiences, and the pain of watching them go through tough stuff. It's heart-bursting. I think someone has said it's like wearing your heart on the outside of your body. You feel vulnerable. It's a beautiful, beautiful life, though. And we go back to the chorus of the refrain. Open the windows, turn off the lights, bring on the thunder, flash in the night. Rain on the rooftop, try as we might. We can't get to love till we burn out the fight. Until we burn out the fight. And then we have a little instrumental in there that highlights the harmonica. And we get to the last verse here. 10 years and a few more dollars, maybe we'll both leave our jobs. Spend weeks on an island beach, I don't know. What are the odds? But right now, I want to hear about your day. The crazy thing your coworker said. I want to tell you how I missed you last week when I was in some distant hotel bed. So this verse is about the everyday sorts of things. You know, we dream about what might happen when we retire. We dream about something that might be big, you know, going and spending weeks out there on an island or, you know, stuff like that. And we've done a little bit of that. We've been fortunate enough to go to Hawaii a couple of times or to you know, have some times like that. But you know, you kind of dream about that. But right now, what's important is those times when we're together, when we're sharing stuff, just the regular everyday stuff. I remember when I first wrote this and I played it for Cheryl, she was like, oh my goodness, the crazy thing your coworker said. I'm not sure I want my coworkers to, you know, everybody's got coworkers and everybody's got coworkers that say crazy things. And that's why we love them. Because they say crazy things. I got coworkers that say crazy things. So anyway, that's part of the fun of working in different places. You know, I can hear the crazy stuff that happened at Cheryl's work. She can hear the crazy stuff that's happening at my work. We've got these two different worlds that we're operating in that we come back together and share about, and that's awesome. I want to tell you how I missed you last week when I was in some distant hotel bed. So my work involves a lot of travel. I spend a lot of days on the road, and I'm in a hotel bed by myself, just sitting there thinking, wow, Cheryl's in our bed at home by herself, well, with the 3 dogs. And I'm missing them. And how much it's good to share that, though, to say, boy, you know, I had trouble sleeping that night because, you know, you weren't there. The doggies weren't there. Open the windows, turn off the lights. Bring on the thunder, flash in the night. Rain on the rooftop, try as we might. We can't get to love until we burn out the fight. Open the windows, turn off the lights. Bring on the thunder, flash in the night. Rain on the rooftop, try as we might. We can't get to love until we burn out the fight, until we burn out the fight. To finally, at the end of the day, to lay down and to open up the windows and to let the breeze blow through and to listen to the rain on the roof and to listen to the thunder rumble up and down the canyon. Sometimes you have to do that. You have to say, wow, it was a tough day. I am just going to lay down. I'm going to open the windows. I'm going to expect something beautiful to come. I'm just going to let it come. I'm just going to let it wash over me. You know, sometimes maybe we pursue solutions or comfort more than we need to. Sometimes maybe it's just a matter of stopping, opening up the windows, and letting it wash over you. And the song ends as it began. Seems like we were just kids, 30 years and a lifetime away. Seems like all the hard times come and go, like a heat wave. So a very autobiographical sort of song, song about remembering just all the loveliness and all the difficulty in a relationship, in a family relationship, and appreciating the moment right now when the heat wave is broken and there's a cool breeze, and we know tonight the rain's going to come and it's going to cool everything off. Looking for those moments in life are so incredibly important. So like I said earlier, this is mostly acoustic guitar and harmonica. There's some strings in there. I've been really enjoying doing some string arrangements for a lot of songs. And on this particular album, Gravitate, I did that on quite a number of songs. So that also gives it kind of has a feel. I don't know why, but back in the 70s there was a lot of string arrangement stuff that kept coming up, and in fact, John Denver, the arrangements for John Denver were a big piece of that. String arrangements in rock songs, or some of you may flinch at me saying that John Denver did rock songs, but he did. He also did some country and then some other things, but the string arrangements behind those, that was a kind of a new thing in the 70s, and everybody jumped on that. This song has a kind of a 70s feel to me, which is sort of what I was going for, especially with Eagle and the Hawk hitting there at the beginning. So anyway, so that's the studio version. I'm going to play for you next the live version, and I'll admit the sequencing here. The live version, actually, I recorded as a live performance before the studio version. So the way things work for me is when I write a song, then I need to capture that recording by recording it in a live performance, and then I work with it in the studio to do some fresh arrangements. So this live performance from Live in the Black Hills Volume 2, which came out in 2019, the year after Gravitate, the Gravitate album. Actually, that was recorded before the studio version on Gravitate. And so we'll listen to this, and maybe it kind of brings the song down to its basic elements. And then that's where I began before creating the arrangement with harmonica and with the strings and everything. So right now we'll listen to the live version of Heatwave from Live in the Black Hills from Volume 2 from 2019.
3 dogs in a hammock and a cool breeze after a hot day. Heatwave in the canyon. You're singing Eagle and the Hawk from memory. Seem like we were just kids. 30 years and a lifetime away. Seem like all the hard times that come and go like a heat wave. Open the window, turn off the light, bring on the thunder, flash in the night, rain on the rooftop, dry as we might. We can't get to love till we burn out the fight. Burn out the fight. Two kids in a red Jeep on a dirt road up to the mountaintop. Late night in the basement. Watch them sing and dance like they'll never stop. Watch them go through the tough years. Middle school boyfriends and bullies. You and I learn the hard way. Hearts burst when they get so full. Please open the window, turn off the light, bring on the thunder, flash in the night, rain on the rooftop, dry as we might. Can't get to love till we burn out the fight. and a few more dollars, maybe we'll both leave our jobs. Spend weeks on an island beach. I don't know what are the odds, but right now I wanna hear about your day, about the crazy thing your coworker said. I wanna tell you how I missed you last week when I was in some distant hotel bed. Open a window, turn out the light, bring on the thunder, gonna flash in the night, rain on the rooftop, dry as we might, can't get to love till we burn out the fire. Yeah, open a window, turn off the light, bring on the thunder, flash in the night, rain on the rooftop, dry as we might, we can't get to love till we burn out the fight, till we burn out the fight, we burn out the fight. Seemed like we were just kids, 30 years and a lifetime away. Seemed like all the hard times come and go like a heat wave, like a heat wave.
So there we have it. That's the live version of Heatwave from Live in the Black Hills, Volume 2. And probably that recording was made within a day of the writing of that song. It's got some things going on in it that I really love in that live version that didn't really stay in the studio version. So, but that's okay. It also has some vocals that make me I get a little cringy on. That's always the way it is, though. Well, thank you for joining me again for another episode of Dancin' Moon's Songcast. You can find all my music and all my lyrics at scottsimpsonmusic.com. Stream me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, anywhere else that you like to stream your music. Once again, I thank you for being with me for this 1.5 year mark episode. We have great things coming up this year. I'm so excited. I've got an album I'm working on with my entire family. I'm just super excited about it. We're also going to be performing. If you're going to be in Spearfish in July for Festival in the Park, I believe it's the 18th of July, I'll be performing on the big stage. So that's pretty exciting. So thanks as always for joining me for another Dancin' Moon Songcast. May all your heat waves pass quickly. Be well.